Hey guys, what's going on? I'm waxing my car today. We bought this car in 2002. My wife bought it when we moved up here. Kind of a relic now, but a girl's first car. Anyway, waxing it up because it's outside. I don't like things getting all nasty and the sun just tears stuff up. But anyway, I just want to make a quick video. I had a thought the other day of how all this, the cabal, the deep state, whatever you want to call it, they have everything is connected by a web. And I talked about in another video about how they wanted to use the ultimate goal of the jab, the thing that goes in your arm, was to create a upgrade system, like a Windows system, where they install a basic operating system using nanotech, which is something they have, and you know it's in the public domain. You can look it up. But they can basically microchip you and upgrade this system, so they can program these nanos to do different things, and once they're installed in your system, they can upgrade them. And so I think what I see, that's why you'll never see an end to it, and they make lots of money off of these things that go in your arm. And so what they want is total control. What they really want is they want you to be hardwired into a web, and they control this web. And if you think of a spider web, how one, if a little small bug lands in the spider web, it vibrates through the whole web, and the spider gets alerted, and the spider goes out and wraps up the bug, or so they can consume them. And that's what they really wanted to create with this the system controllers. They want total, complete domination. So they created this web, and that's why we get this vibe from things. And I've got it my whole life about just how fake everything is. And with this web, they can pulse. They can send out pulses. So they can vibrate the web, and they can send out these pulses. And what they do is they send out the base emotions. You look at how everything is sexualized. I'll be on YouTube, and they have these little YouTube shorts, and then once you go down that rabbit hole, you could sit there and spend a half an hour watching these young girls jiggle their boobs and their butts. And basically that's what it is. For an hour you could sit and watch that. And it's like, I don't watch anything like that on my YouTube. Why would they promote that? I mean, why would they push that out there? Well, that's the energy level they want you at. Fear. So they're constantly pumping fear. They're vibrating the fear out onto this web. And if you're connected to this web, you're going to be picking up all of this stuff. You're going to be picking up the all of these base emotions that they want to keep us in that reptilian brain. They want to keep us operating on that reptilian survival level brain. And so what's happening now is this web they created is starting to disintegrate. So it's being put in the light of day, and it's being shown what it really is. And we're being shown how these agencies, the three-letter agencies, how they uphold and they create the conditions for this web to continue to operate. And now it's important to understand that this requires a tremendous amount of power, a tremendous amount of energy consumption to keep this false web going. And this is why even the controllers know that eventually it will collapse of its own weight. And so that's what we're seeing right now. And like I've said in other videos, we're seeing a controlled demolition, because a new web has been put in place behind it. And this web is based on light, love, cooperation, healing, expansion. All the godly things, all the godly energy is behind this new web that it's been superimposed, and it is now about to go into operation. And it's like when you have At work they'll switch the generator. They'll go to when they do their test. What they'll do is they'll switch to the generator, and the power will go off simultaneously. So as soon as the power goes out, the generator will kick in, because we have people on ventilators and stuff. And we have these little red plugs at work. So if someone's on a life-saving device like a ventilator, you plug it into a red plug. And so what's happening right now is this system is about to be switched to this real web, you could call it. But this real web is a spiritual one. It's not just a physical, it's not just about the physical, it's about the spiritual too. So it's like a multi-dimensional web connected to source. And so it's got the impulses and the vibrations being sent out from this are pulses and vibrations coming directly from source. So when we switch to this new, it's going to be like freedom, expansion, abundance, and it's going to be a transition though, even though it'll be something really, really good. And the people that are talking about this, the people that are on this path, are going to be the way showers for everyone else, because everyone else is going to go into a panic when it happens. And anyway, so I was listening to David Nino Rodriguez, and I'll try to link the video, but he had a lady on there, and she was talking about Kim Clement, and everyone pronounces his name wrong. She said they call him Clemente, but it's Clement. Anyway, he's a prophet, and he made all these Trump predictions, and he passed away shortly after Trump was elected. So he had like a brain tumor or something that just came on. So he was probably attacked. It was probably some kind of a directed weapon or something to shut him up. But this lady's story is very interesting, and I'll have to research on her more. But she made some really good. It was just a very uplifting thing that I needed to hear, because I'll be honest, I've just been feeling like down. I mean, and I keep having this. This is one thing in my life I've learned up to this point. It's when you feel like quitting, it's when you feel like giving up, that's when you're just about to win. That's when you're about to have the break. That's when things are about to open up. And I'm telling you, you guys, we are about to win. So don't quit. Don't hang up. Don't hang up your gloves. Keep the gloves on. Keep throwing punches. Because as long as you're standing, there's hope. As long as we don't give up, there's hope. And I want to herald back to an experience I had, because I think it's important. I had when I learned heartfulness meditation, I had an experience where it was in my mind. It was like I was visualizing this, but it was like it was real. It was like a vision. But I received transmission from Kamlesh. He's the 4th president of the system, and these guys never want to be worshipped. They never want to be gurus. If you read Babaji's books, he talks about the guru system and how it was basically it's been used as a control system, a manipulation system. These guys are they're like servants of humanity. That's ultimately what they are, and they're helping assist us. It's kind of like climbing Mount Everest. They're like the Sherpas. They're giving us assistance to get up the hill, giving us some oxygen and stuff like that. And anyway, I received transmission from him, and when I did, I saw this energy wall, I guess you could call it. It was like a tsunami wave. It was massive, and it was godly energy. Now, I don't know all the different. I don't know how to explain it. I can't say, oh, that energy was God, but it was of God. Okay, it was like, if you have a lake and the lake's full of water, and down at the bottom you have a spillway that's shooting water out of it. The water is of the lake. It's not the lake, but it's of the lake. It's coming from the lake. That's what this was. This was energy from source. And let me just tell you, this source energy was something that it really can't be described in words. The power of it. It was something beyond anything I'd ever imagine. So the reason I'm telling you this is just to give you hope, because we start seeing things in our relative existence and we start getting, we get shook up and get scared and get worried, and we start obsessing about things. And we have to remember that this, we really just got to just fall back on this godly energy and let this godly energy be in control. Let it drive the bus. Okay. It doesn't mean we don't show up. It doesn't mean we don't, put our best foot forward. No, we got to get up out of bed. We got to do what we need to do, but it's going to be in a joyous way. It's not something we have to do. It's not something we have to be. We're going through this right now in my house. My wife and I, we got a daughter. She's graduated from high school. We went through all the graduation. We're doing the graduation party. We're preparing for college. It's a huge mental and emotional and financial thing. Okay. So we're about to go into like a big financial thing with this college stuff. I mean, it's tremendously, ridiculously expensive. And so we're kind of struggling right now. I mean, it's, I'm kind of, I'm, last night I had a dream that I was just running on this like endurance track, and I was doing this like endurance test, and it wasn't a test. It was just my life. Like I had to just keep running, keep running, keep running, keep running. And this is a lot about endurance. We have to just hunker down. We have to get tough, and we have to just plow the rest of the field. We're almost done. We're just right to the end. Don't give up now. And I know it's kind of like this is it. So I wanted to just give you hope. I'll try to link this video because it's really excellent. And I like David Rodriguez a lot. I think he's a really amazing guy, and he's going to have a really huge future. And another thing too, just because you're not feeling like you're contributing maybe at the level where you'd want to, it doesn't mean anything. And stuff doesn't matter. This higher level, higher energy, godly energy will put you right where you need to be. It might not be out in the front. It might be in the support. I've talked about this before. Like, I was in the Air Force and I went to the Persian Gulf, and we had we were support for the F-16s. I mean, that's what we were. And I worked in the medical field, so I don't even know a thing about an F-16. But I was there supporting, the people working on the planes, the pilots. It was all, we were all there for that. And it didn't diminish our role. It was still important. It's like, I work at the hospital, and we have cleaning staff that, clean the rooms and empty the trashes and stuff, and you think, oh, that's not important. That's not an important job. I'm going to tell you right now, that's the most important job at the hospital. I believe it is. I think they should be paid way more money. If it was up to me, they would be. But they do. Without them, we couldn't do anything, because everything's fine until the trash can's overflowing, or the soap dispenser's out, or the towels are out. It seems like such a small thing, but it's actually huge. So you might be doing something you think is just so insignificant and so unimportant, but that might be a really important place for you. It might be the place you're supposed to be. It might be, changing your kid's diaper, or, going to your job so you can provide for your family. I mean, there's no higher calling than that. So don't be thinking, you got to be, it's easy to compare yourself with people who are doing things that seem more idyllic, like maybe people who are, starting, businesses and they're just doing things, and you're just going, man, I'm just a loser. I'm not doing anything. But that's not true. You just hold the line, hold fast. That's what we're here for right now, is to just stay strong. It's like I was thinking of, like, I read a book about the 101st Airborne, and when they went into Normandy, and then the battle of all these different battles they were in, and they just dug trenches and held the line, and they're in those trenches just freezing cold, but you know what? They had a purpose. They knew what they were there for, and they fought, and they held stuff that they shouldn't have even been able to hold. And that's what we are. We're those, we're those shining lights. We just gotta shine our light as bright as possible. Dispel the darkness around us. You're gonna have moments where you fall. You get back up, shake it off. You're gonna fall back. I was listening to Janine. She's the tarot card reader lady, and she was talking about this Mercury retrograde. So I don't know anything about it, but basically Mercury goes in the opposite direction for a while, and when that happens, it can cause effects, and we are connected. We're all connected to this cosmic web, and astrology it's all related to it. But those are good opportunities to reevaluate where you're at. You might fall back into some old patterns. You might fall back into some negative behaviors. But you know what? Get back up, start over. You might have to start over 10,000 times. And you know what? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. All that matters is that you started over. You kept getting up and starting over. And so, I don't know. I hope this gives you a little bit of hope. And maybe no one will even watch it. But if you do, it was meant for you. And God bless. This lady that was on, David Rodriguez, she's really cool. I'm going to research her. But basically, her and her husband had, he had restaurants, and him and her had basically sold a restaurant to a family, like a Christian family. They were atheists, and they sold this business way too much money. They charged them way too much, and basically ripped them off. And she said in no time at all, they were destitute. They were broke. She was actually having to go. The reason she found this Kim Clement was she had to go to the food bank to get food for her family. So they went from being prosperous and doing very well to just getting kicked into the gutter. And it was God's way. It was a godly push. It was like it got them into the line that they're in now. And now she's aligned with this godly will, this godly energy. So I guess that's what I'm trying to get at here is, align yourself with that godly energy, and no matter what your job is, it will be magnificent and glorious. If you're doing God's work and you're doing God service to this godly energy, and believe me, it's humbling when I think about my experience, and I think about serving that kind of power. It's like, wow. I mean, it's the highest. And that's why in Sahaj Marg, the Sahaj Marg prayer is, O Lord, thou art the true goal of human life. So that's the first stanza, and it's the most important thing. Because if that's the case, and you're serving that highest level, and that's the goal, then everything else is just, everything else will happen the way it's supposed to happen in a godly, timely fashion. And I believe that's what we're going through right now. We're going through a tribulation. We're going through a time of tribulation. People are being, tested. The metal is being tested right now. So, explore your own metal. What are you made of? What are you holding on to? What are patterns? What are the patterns holding you back? What's giving you pause from serving at this highest level? And I'm saying this to you because I'm saying it to myself. I'm constantly dealing with this too. Living my highest truth, my highest passion. And I mean, if you met me, you'd be like, oh, this is the most unspiritual person ever. I mean, I wish I could be better. I wish I could be higher. And I try to do the best I can, though. And that's the thing, just get up, put your shoes on, go to your job, do whatever it is you have to do. And but turn inward a little bit, turn towards that godly energy. Just find it, explore it. Maybe before you're laying in bed at night, just think about God, think about, godly, whatever. Just try to experience it at whatever level you can. This is why meditation is kind of really important, I believe, because you get a taste of that divine energy, and it's subtle. It's so subtle. And I had to learn this. I was expecting these big experiences to just knock me over. And sometimes the big experiences, it's like a drug addict. You get a high, but then you get a low. You can get a high from something, but there's always a downside. And with God, there's no downside. It's always it's cultivating this godly divine energy is going to bring up, patterns. It's going to bring up weaknesses. It's going to, and don't attach to those things. Let those things just roll off of you. Let them go away. This is another practice in Sahaj Marg is you do a cleaning, like a cleaning meditation, and in the cleaning meditation you just basically visualize all this stuff just dissolving and being smoke coming off of you, and just basically you just kind of letting your attention go to different areas, or maybe you'll kind of start daydreaming, or even but coming back to that idea of cleaning yourself off. And that cleaning has a purpose, to help this godly energy shine through, but also has a purpose of kind of exposing things that maybe need to be dealt with, taken care of. Maybe you need to go get a massage. Maybe you need to go walk in nature. Maybe you need to do something a little more proactive and start exercising a little bit. Or there's just so much there. But anyway, I went on way too long with this, but I hope y'all have a good day.